I'll never forget the morning I realized something was wrong, sun beating down on my neck, boots crunching through the rows of my vineyard, the air thick with that dusty, late summer smell. My vines looked peaceful, leaves catching the light, grapes just starting to blush purple, but something was off, like the quiet before a storm. The irrigation lines, usually humming soft like a heartbeat under the soil, were dead silent. I knelt, pushed back the mulch, and felt the dirt dry as old bones. 2 days ago, it was damp, perfect for my late-season harvest. Now, it was like the desert had moved in overnight. I checked the drip lines, the pump stationo pressure, no nothing. Then I saw it, a shiny new padlock on the valve junction, glinting like it was mocking me, and a letter taped to a fence post, all crisp and official with the Pine Valley HOA logo. As of August 10th, irrigation services to Lot 22 suspended pending compliance review. It read, cold as ice. My heart sank right into my boots. No call, no email, no heads up, just a lock and a piece of paper telling me my life's work was on hold. I called the HOA office, got voicemail. Called again, same thing. I stood there, staring at my vines, 13 years of sweat and dreams, and thought, this ain't a mistake. This is war. My name's Jack Riley, and that vineyard's more than just land. It's what I built with my late wife, Sarah, back when we were young and dumb enough to think 5 acres of weeds could become something beautiful. After she passed, it became my sanctuary, my way of keeping her close. I played by Pine Valley's rules, mowed the front lawn to their exact specs, painted my barn twice when they whined about the shade, even paid a $400 fine for a too rustic mailbox. But this, cutting my water without a word, that wasn't enforcement. That was sabotage. By day 2, the vines were curling at the edges, grapes looking dull, like they knew what was coming. I drove to the HOA office, a sterile little box in a strip mall that smelled like cheap coffee and printer ink. The clerk, Karen, barely glanced up. "Hi, Jack Riley, Lot 22, I said, keeping my voice steady. "Someone locked my irrigation line yesterday. I need to know why." She clicked her mouse, stared at her screen, and said, "Board authorized it. President Mitchell signed off. Non-compliance with water usage bylaws." I blinked. Non-compliance with what? I haven't changed a damn thing. She shrugged. "Talk to the board. Next meeting's in 3 weeks. 3 weeks? My vines wouldn't last 3 days. I walked out, furious, the glass door hissing shut behind me like it was laughing. That night, I tore through every HOA document I had, bylaws, amendments, old emails. Found one vague rule about water runoff during droughts, but it didn't apply to agricultural lots like mine. I emailed the board, attached the rule, and got nothing back. Called Tom Mitchell, the HOA president, left voicemail crickets. Meanwhile, my vines were turning yellow, shriveling like they were giving up. My backup, well, couldn't handle full irrigation. It was never meant to. Every morning, I walked the rows, watching 13 years of work die slow. Then on day 5, I got a lead. My neighbor, Luis, who grows strawberries down the road, stopped by with a grim look. "Heard something at the last HOA meeting," he said. "They're saying you're hogging water, messing up the pressure for their fancy flower beds by the entrance." I shook my head. "I'll water from 3 to 5 a.m. on a timer." "That's nonsense." Luis leaned in. "Yeah, well, Mitchell's been pushing hard to get you cut off. Said your vineyard doesn't fit their vision anymore." That hit like a punch. 2 years ago, a developer, Crestwood Holdings, offered me big money to sell my land for condos. I said not, told them this place was my home, my history. Now it clicked. This wasn't about water. It was about forcing me out. I started documenting everything: moisture levels, leaf wilt, photos stamped with dates. I wasn't just saving my crop. I was building a case. Called a buddy, Claire, at the county water board. She dug around and called back, voice tight. Jack, this is shady. Someone filed an anonymous complaint saying you're tapping emergency fire reserves. That's why they locked your line. But your system's not even connected to those reserves. It's a lot. I asked who filed it. She paused. Mitchell's signature's on the motion. That's when I knew Tom Mitchell, with his press suits and fake smile, wasn't just playing HOA dictator. He was gunning for my land. I filed a grievance, attached every photo, every log, Claire's findings. Hand-delivered it to the HOA office. 2 days later, they sent back a smug reply. Grievance reviewed, insufficient grounds, water restriction stands. I was pacing my porch, ready to lose it, when my daughter, Emma, called. She's 27, works in marketing up in Seattle, sharp as a tack. Dad, you sound like you're about to burn their office down, she said. I laughed bitter. They're killing my vines, Em, on purpose. She went quiet, then said, You're selling to Redwood Cellars, right? That big winery? If your harvest tanks, that's a breach contract. They could sue for interference. My heart skipped. You think they'd care? Emma didn't miss a beat. Dad, they'll eat this up. HOA's pulling this crap on growers? They'll want blood. I emailed Redwood Cellars VP, Laura Bennett, that night, laid it all out, water cutoff, dying vines, Mitchell's vendetta. I didn't expect a quick reply, but at 7:45 a.m., my inbox pinged. Mr. Riley, this is serious, Laura wrote. Forward all evidence. Our legal team will reach out. By noon, I was on a call with their lawyer, Mark Chun, who asked sharp questions. Dates, photos, receipts, bylaws. I had it all. This isn't just about you, Jack, he said. This is about protecting every grower we work with. We're filing a cease and desist, and if they don't budge, we escalate. 2 days later, Redwood's legal team sent the HOA a letter that must have hit like a freight train. Suddenly, I wasn't alone. But Mitchell didn't back down and doubled down. Code enforcement started showing up, nitpicking my fence height, my shed's paint, even my gravel driveway. Then came the kicker, a $3,500 lien on my property for unpaid fines. I called Laura, voice shaking. She was calm as steel. They're trying to scare you quiet. Don't bite. We've got this. Redwood's lawyers shut down the lien with a single call, but the message was clear. Mitchell wanted me broken. I took it to the press, sent everything to the local paper, photos of my dead vines, the HOA's letters, the whole ugly timeline. They ran it front page. Local grower says HOA sabotaged Vineyard for condo scheme. The story spread like wildfire. Neighbors I hadn't spoken to in years reached out, some ashamed, others angry, sharing their own HOA horror story. Asa Fine Beehive, a shuttered farm stand. Then Laura called. We're suing, she said. Mitchell, the board, the whole HOA for interference, sabotage, and civil rights violations under state AG laws. You'll need to testify. I didn't hesitate. I'm in. The lawsuit hit, and Pine Valley cracked open. Subpoenas forced the HOA to turn over emails, and oh, they were damning. One from Mitchell to Crestwood Holdings. Riley's stubborn, but no water, no crop. He'll sell soon. Another from a board member, Karen Tate, to Mitchell. What about Redwood Cellars? His reply? They'll bluff, but they won't fight. Riley's got no one. I want to frame that email and shove it in his face. The media ate it up. Channel 7's Lisa Tran stood in my vineyard, camera panning over shriveled grapes, then cut to Mitchell's slick HOA promo video about community values. The contrast was brutal. Then the board started to crumble. Karen Tate resigned, left a note saying she couldn't stomach the retaliation anymore. Neighbors formed a transparency group, demanding financial records. They found Mitchell had funneled HOA funds to a landscaping firm he partly owned. Classic conflict of interest. The community turned. People who'd ignore me started waving, bringing coffee, helping replant. One guy, a Vietnam vet named Hal, stopped by and said, "My dad lost his farm to a board like this. You're fighting for all of us, Jack." I nearly broke down right there. The court date came, and I walked in wearing my old Marine uniform, not for show, but because it felt right. I testified about the vines, the lies, the nights I slept in the barn to save what I could. Handed the judge a report I'd titled "The Cost of Control," every lost grape, every dollar, every sleepless night. The room was packed. Reporters, farmers, even HOA folks from other towns. Mitchell sat there, face like a cracked mask, lawyers whispering in his ear. No ruling that day, but it didn't matter. The next week, another resident sued. Then another. Pine Valley's HOA was imploding. By October, Mitchell was gone, resigned in a late-night email blaming health issues. The board dissolved, replaced by a new committee led by a teacher, Maria, who promised transparency. They restored my water, dismissed the fines, erased the lien with an apology. Redwood extended my contract, donated new vines, and Laura suggested naming a vintage Riley stand. I laughed. "Make it bold, with a kick," I said. She grinned. "Just like you. The vineyard's coming back slow, new shoots, new soil, new hope." Neighbors help now, kids from the local AG class too. We started a harvest festival, nothing big, just music, wine, and kids running wild. It's messy, real, like community should be. But not everyone's happy. Last month, I found traders spray painted on my fence, probably some holdout who liked Mitchell's shiny promises better than my dusty truth. I left it up for a day, let folks see it, then painted it white. Clean slate. Looking back, this wasn't just about water or grapes, it was about what happens when you let power run unchecked, when you let a slick suit like Mitchell decide who belongs. I fought because this land's my home, my heart, where I still feel Sarah in every vine. But I also fought for Hal, for Luis, for every neighbor who got a fine for a wind chime or a basketball hoop. And yeah, I'm proud we won. But here's the thing, what if I hadn't had Redwood? What if I'd been alone? No lawyer, no press, just a guy with a dry field and a stack of fines. That's what keeps me up now. How many others are out there, fighting their own Mitchells, with no one to hear them? So, I'm asking you, what would you do? If your home, your work, your piece of the world was threatened by someone with a rule book and a grudge, would you fight? Would you stay quiet? Drop a comment, share your story, because trust me, you're not alone. And out here, where the vines are growing again, that's what matters most, knowing we're in this together.